Hello there, fellow cultists. This is DM Nell, and I'm back with another Shadow Talk, and this one is episode 129. And today I'm going to be spotlighting the Shadow of the Weird Wizard Kickstarter. This Kickstarter has been going now for a little over a week, I think, at this point, and still has 17 days to go. So we'll go into detail on that here in just a moment. But first, I would like to thank all of the people that have been watching my channel. As of today, have 495 followers, which is amazing. It's hard for me to wrap my head around the fact that there are 490 people in the world out there that care anything about what I have to say. But thank you for listening in and watching. And if there are any others out there that would like to take part of this experience, then feel free to subscribe. Just hit that subscribe button, hit the bell icon if you want to know when my videos are posted, and that'll set you on your way to some road that probably leads nowhere. But anyway, so this is me, doing my part to try to get more followers so that we can get more people zeroed in on the good work that Robert Schwab does. Okay, so I do have some new products to talk about. Not my products, of course. My products are out on Drive-Thru RPG, but the Roll20 Marketplace. I have my token sets. I mention them every once in a while. I have produced 8 token sets for Shadow of the Demon Lord that can pretty much be used with any fantasy RPG, but they feature creatures that are specific to Shadow of the Demon Lord, so that's why they are Shadow of the Demon Lord token sets for the most part. But I do have some non-Shadow of the Demon Lord creatures in several of the sets, just to kind of round them out a little bit. So if you are interested in getting more virtual tabletop tokens, check me out on the Roll20 Marketplace. I think you just need to do a search for DM Nell, and you will find my sets out there. They're also under the product name of Bloody Tokens, so if you do a search for that, you can find them that way as well. I'll have a link in the comment section. All right, so let's talk some new products. So you can find these new products out there in the Drive-Thru RPG space. And the first new product is When the Wolf Comes. Now, I know virtually nothing about this other than what has been advertised and what is showing here. From what I understand, this is what if Vikings had let's see, how should I put this? What if Vikings had conquered the world and the Viking way of life was the standard? And we are now in the future, and so we have future Vikings in spaceships and stuff like that. So that's my understanding, and it uses the Shadow of the Demon Lord game engine, which is interesting. Now, at this point, I have not picked this up. I do intend to. I'm actually going to try and see if any of my local gaming stores will actually get a physical copy of it, so I can pick it up that way. Otherwise, I will, get the PDF. It's on sale here. Not on sale. It is the PDF is $19.99 on Drive-Thru RPG. And here's what you get. Let's see. When the Wolf Comes is a game of storytelling, heroism, and epic struggle set in a reimagined Ragnarok, a parallel timeline where the Norse rule seas and stars with restless fleets, and Christianity has been put to the Viking sword. A complete tabletop role-playing game in one book. When the Wolf Comes provides everything you need to create and play characters, form warbands in pursuit of fame and plunder, and tell new Norse sagas with your friends. The book also gives game masters all the tools they need to create adventures, a bestiary full of deadly creatures, a detailed history of the Nui Haimar. Yeah, I have no idea how that's pronounced. And extensive advice to help run the game. When the Wolf Comes features a whole heap of rules and features to help you unleash your inner space Viking, including New Norse origins, storied heroes. Let's see, from the Wand Wed to the Widefarer. Build futuristic Norse characters drawn from the pages of the sagas. 100 plus spells and gifts. Old Norse for modern gamers. Judgment of the Norns, and a ready-made adventure. So that's all. That's you get all that with your $19.99. So When the Wolf Comes, another game that uses the Shadow of the Demon Lord game engine, and interested to see what that looks like. So I'll be picking that up at some point. Maybe I'll do a video just about it in and of itself. Okay, so that was the first product I wanted to mention. The next product is also on DriveThruRPG. Well, they're all on the DriveThruRPG, but this one is on the hottest titles from Schwab Entertainment. And it is the Northern Reach Part 3. So this title I have purchased, and I've kind of gone through it, but it is the third part of a series that highlights the Northern Reach, which is, if you know anything about Shadow of the Demon Lord, you know what the Northern Reach is. But for those 2 or 3 of you out there that are new to the channel and don't know much about Shadow of the Demon Lord, the Northern Reach is part of the built-in campaign setting for Shadow of the Demon Lord, and it is a great place to start a campaign. It's kind of a wilderness territory that is a new frontier for adventurers to explore. Not really new. It's there have been settlers there for a few hundred years, but it's still mostly wilderness, and it's still ripe for exploration. So the Northern Reach Part 3 basically is a series of supplements that expand on the existing settlements that are there, and also a lot of the geographical features and the wildlife and the types of creatures and sorts of things that you could expect to find there. So if you are utilizing the, easy for me to say, if you're utilizing the built-in campaign setting, this is a good product to have. Okay, so I'm not going to go into that in much more detail. When the series is completed, I'll probably do a video just kind of talking about all the supplements, or maybe a series of videos, because from my understanding, these probably going to be several of these. There's been 3 already, maybe 3 more, so who knows? We'll see. But anyway, I'll do a video when the time comes. Not when the wolf comes, when the time comes. See what I did there? All right, so the next product, the Crawling Sea, is probably the newest. I believe this came out here just in the last week. And I have purchased this product as well. And just at a high level, what this product features is a new shadow event. So again, for those of you that are not super familiar with Shadow of the Demon Lord, a shadow event is a campaign driver or a campaign backdrop that you can put into your campaign to help kind of steer the story along, to help provide some kind of inspiration or some kind of reason for your characters to be adventuring. It's essentially a danger that is presented itself into the world, and it's a big enough threat that it could cause worldwide devastation, or perhaps even allow the Demon Lord to destroy the world. So this is another shadow event, and basically it features an entity known as the Crawling Sea, which is one of the genies that refused to die, basically, and kind of went crazy out in the Nixian Ocean, and was responsible for wiping out the prior civilization that was on the western coast of the continent of Rule, which is the Great Steppes, I want to say, Eternal Steppes, I forget. Anyway, on the western side of the Shield Mountains, that entire region, that entire side of the continent is now populated by centaurs, but it once had a thriving civilization that was, fairly advanced, and the crawling sea was responsible for wiping out that civilization before it became inert and went back to sleep in the sea. But it can start stirring again if you choose to use this as a shadow event. And so it's got, lots of ways to do that. I'm not going to go into that. I may do a video on it specifically, but just wanted to highlight that is out there also on DriveThruRPG for the extremely cheap price of $1.99. And that, I believe, are all the new products that I wanted to highlight for today. So let's jump right in to the main topic, and that is the Kickstarter. So Shadow the Weird Wizard has been going on, like I said, for about a week, maybe a little longer. And it's originally had a pledge of $30,000. It is now at $293,143. So as you can see, it has wiped the floor with the original goal, and it is now well on the way to $500,000. So it's got 2,878 backers, of which I am one. And the reason why this is a well-known, or not a well-known, but the reason why it's doing so well for an independent RPG producer, like a small independent RPG producer like Schwalb Entertainment, is because I believe mostly word of mouth. Shadow of the Demon Lord was a very niche product. It was a horror fantasy RPG produced by a great RPG designer that had done work for many RPG companies, including Wizard of the Coast. He had his hand in designing 5th edition D&D. He's got just tons of products out there supporting not only 5th edition, but also other products from other companies. I believe he did the Game of Thrones RPG, and that might have been for Green Ronin, I forget. But at any rate, he's done quite a few. He's got a lot of credentials under his belt, and he's got a lot of experience, and he's an unbelievably prolific, if I can talk today, game designer. He pumps out a lot of content. If you look at the Shadow of the Demon Lord catalog in DriveThruRPG, and keep in mind that this product has been around since 2015, but it's got hundreds of products. It's I would dare say it's got more products by the developer of the RPG than D&D does. And they've been out about the same amount of time, but yeah, Schwalb Entertainment just pumps out the product. So just looking at like this category, Battle Scars, Between Life and Death, all these supplements, 19 of them just in this one folder. That was Poison Pages, Adventures. He's got a ton. Let me see here. Scrolling. Okay, he's got 2 pages of 50. So 100 adventures, give or take. He's got products for the Freeport setting. He's got products for his Godless setting. His punk apocalyptic game. Here's When the Wolf Comes. Let's see if there's anything in there. Yeah, so we've got the main rulebook, core rulebook, and then we have 4 adventures, it looks like. Or 3 adventures and 1, I don't know what that is, supplement of some sort. All right, so just tons of stuff. And this guy, Robert Schwalb, is a machine. He just pumps out the product like crazy. It's like he doesn't sleep or something. But at any rate, that's what we can expect as well from Shadow the Weird Wizard. That is what's driving this $293,000 that he's managed to accumulate thus far. Is, I would dare say that most of these backers probably are Shadow the Demon Lord followers, and maybe not active players of the game, but they probably have the core rulebook and many other supplements, and they know what they can expect from Robert Schwalb, and they can expect high quality, a lot of material, timely, and just amazing gameplay. All right, so that's where we're at as far as the Kickstarter goes. There's 17 days remaining, so there's still plenty of time to hop on to this bandwagon, and I definitely wanted to do a video spotlighting this this Kickstarter, because if you don't get in on the Kickstarter, you're really missing out, because again, Robert Schwalb produces a lot of stuff, but you will get a lot of this stuff as part of the Kickstarter if you jump on the bandwagon. Otherwise, you're going to have to go out there and buy this stuff as he produces it. And although his marketing method is put out small supplements that are very affordable, usually less than $5, and put out a lot of it, so you can pretty much just get the supplements that you want to get and ignore the rest. And I love that model because, well, I picked up all of his stuff, so it really doesn't matter for me, but anyway, because I would have picked it up regardless. But you don't have to buy a whole book if you're just interested in a portion of it. That's the neat thing about how Robert Schwalb does it. Now, the flip side of that is you have a lot of supplement PDFs, and you may be printing them out. You're not going to have them consolidated into a book. And so that is the downside to it. But again, you get a lot of content, and you get it cheap. So if you are in on the Kickstarter, then you will get a lot of this content as part of the Kickstarter. So that's why you really should jump on board if you haven't already. Okay, so it talks here about what is the Shadow of the Weird Wizard, what makes it different than Shadow of the Demon Lord. He says it best himself here, but just to summarize, Shadow of the Demon Lord was is a horror fantasy game, and it's got a lot of horrific content, a lot of gross content, body horror. It's a very rated R RPG. And for a lot of folks, that's not what they're wanting in their game experience. They're wanting, something more along the lines of Dungeons and Dragons, something more high fantasy, and just leave out the horror stuff, please. And that's what he's doing with Shadow of the Weird Wizard. He is taking the concept of, he's taking the game engine from Shadow of the Demon Lord, tweaking it to make it fit a more high fantasy game system that supports that type of gameplay, and creating essentially a new RPG. Now, is it going to be completely different than Shadow of the Demon Lord? No, it's sharing the same game engine with some tweaks, and we'll get into some of that when we go through the quick play. I don't think I'll be doing the quick play on this video. I'll probably be doing a separate video for that. But the quick play will highlight some of the main differences between the Shadow of the Demon Lord game system and what is being developed for Shadow of the Weird Wizard. The other thing that is important to highlight here is that he's been working on this for at least 5 years. I know back in 2018, he was, putting out material to test for people to test out for him. So this has been in a playtest for at least 5 years, and he's gone through many iterations during those 5 years. And so if you're wanting something that's going to be a solid game that has been play tested, a lot, this is going to be that game when it's produced. The other nice thing that I'd like to point out with Robert Schwalb is that he likes to have his game basically finished before he does a Kickstarter. So his game is pretty much finished. I believe he needs to do some editing and then get it to the printer, which means that the turnaround time on this is going to be fairly quick. We will probably get the PDF of the game system I would guess not too long after the Kickstarter wraps up. Maybe within the next month or so is my guess. Now, I haven't seen anything that states that specifically, but I think that it would probably be out fairly quickly. Now, of course, the estimated delivery for the actual material is August 2024. So he's giving himself a year to produce the material that he's pledging here. But what he's done in his previous Kickstarters is that he will put out a little bit at a time in order to get all of the Kickstarter stuff out of the way. And he'll usually do that before the deadline that he gave himself. Now, I have no idea what's going on in his life. He may not be as prolific these days as he has been before. He might be more. Who knows? But I can just tell you from past experience that you will get a lot of stuff and you'll get it, in a timely manner. So this is not one Kickstarter that you have to worry about the fulfillment coming, years later. This will be fulfilled within the next year, and most likely within the next several months you'll get a good chunk of it. Okay, so what is Shadow the Weird Wizard? It's basically a high fantasy game set in a world where an empire has fallen and fallen into chaos, and the people from that empire are fleeing, trying to find new lands to settle and someplace safe to live, and their options are extremely limited. So their primary option is to go through the borderlands. Now, the borderlands are the lands between the existing old world empire and whatever lands it occupies, and the unknown frontier. And you have to go through the borderlands to get there. And the borderlands is filled with monsters, filled with lawless bandits, and it's a great place for exploration. That's why I think he's utilizing that kind of setup. It's essentially a keep on the borderlands hex crawl type of setup that you can use as a hex crawl, I suppose, or you can just use it to set up adventures. Regardless of how the setting ends up being, that's kind of how it's been set up so far. And the Weird Wizard is this legendary figure that is like the ultimate wizard on this world. And this wizard has been experimenting. Nobody knows if he's good or evil. A lot of people assume he's evil, but whether he's a he or she, who knows? But this wizard has been doing lots of arcane experiments over the centuries, and a lot of those experiments are wandering the borderlands, and so you'll run into a lot of weirdness that the Weird Wizard has concocted. And so, like I said, the place is just ripe for adventure. Okay, so if you scroll through the Kickstarter, you'll see a lot of the artwork that's being produced. This is a Diabolical Cult by artist Phil Simpson. This section of the Kickstarter talks about the game. People like the game system powering the Shadow of the Demon Lord, but some bounced off the game's tone. So, like I mentioned earlier, is a little bit too rated R for a lot of folks. So this is going to be probably more PG-13, focusing on high fantasy. Which also means, and he states so much here, that the options for player characters are probably going to be a bit more on the powerful side than they are for Shadow the Demon Lord. Since, in a horror fantasy games, you want your characters to be competent, but you don't want them to be, more powerful or a greater threat than a lot of the monsters that they are fighting, because, whoa, where am I going? Because, then it's not very horrific. And it ends up being just another fantasy game. So the Shadow of the, I gotta fix my chair here. The Shadow of the Weird Wizard is going to be a more, like I said, a more heroic fantasy type RPG. And the information here in the Kickstarter gives you a high level of that. Let's see, we've got some feedback from Stephen Radney McFarland, who is a Pathfinder dude. And you've got Shauna Germain also commenting on Robert Schwab and his work. You have the Quick Play PDF, which you can download for free. And we'll go through that in probably an upcoming video. And the Quick Play includes 5 pre-generated characters, rules of the game, and a complete adventure. And of course, this would be the basic rules of the game. You obviously don't have the full rule book. Let's see here, a couple more comments from one from James Lauder and one from Nicholas Lindrews. So, lots. Robert Schwab has worked with a lot of people, and so a lot of people are ready to jump in and sing his praises, which they are here. Here is a copy of the character sheet, and it's a little fanciful. Looks kind of reminiscent of the Numenera character sheet, at least one of them that I've seen. But you've got, your all you need for your character here on one page. You've got the whether they're going to be in the novice, expert, or master path. Coin, gear, and items go in that section. Weapons over here. Your main stats: strength, defense, agility, will, intellect. Then you got your level, your damage, your health score, and a portrait. Got to have picture. And then you can you got your armor value here, and then you got places to put some of your traditions. Then it talks about what you're going to get with the core rulebooks. And from what I understand, there's going to be 2 core rulebooks. The first one is the Shadow of the Weird Wizard. And that'll be provided as a digital offering as well as an offset print book. The core rulebook contains everything you need to create and play a character in the Borderlands. Inside this 350-page full-color hardback and digital book, you will find an updated version of the Shadow of the Demon Lord game system. 4 easy-to-learn novice paths, some 40 expert paths, and over 100 master paths so that you can develop your character in any way you choose. And the novice, expert, and master path method of character creation is one of the things that sets Shadow of the Demon Lord and now Shadow of the Weird Wizard apart from other fantasy games. The multi-classing is really it's baked into the system. So it's not like you're a fighter and that's all you are for your entire career. And it's not like you are a fighter and you pick one subclass at some point and that's all you are. You get a chance to make important decisions about your character's development throughout the character's career. And so this is a fantastic game system for character creation. I think a lot of players really will dig it once they dig into it. Okay, Chris Pramus is already or is also in here singing praises, as well as Ken Height. Did I finish this? I don't think I did. Okay, so I did the first 2 bullet points. Duh. A robust equipment chapter full of useful items to help you on your way. 33 traditions of magic, each with 4 magical talents and 18 spells for all tiers of play. And then you have the complete rules of the game. So that's what you get in the first book, which sounds like it's going to be, for the most part, a player book. Then he has the GM book, which is called The Secrets of the Weird Wizard, also offered in digital and print. The rulebook for the Sage, known also as the Game Master. It offers you everything you need to run the Shadow of the Weird Wizard role-playing game. Inside this 325-page full-color hardback and digital book, you will find, so 325 plus 350, 675 pages worth of content just in the 2 core rulebooks. That's pretty decent. So what are we going to find in the Sage book? Let's see, tips and tricks and guidance for running the game, which is awesome. If you look at the stuff that's in the Shadow of the Demon Lord core rulebook, super handy for any role-playing game, but especially for the game being designed. A slew of traps and hazards, which you got to have for high fantasy. Got to have your traps and hazards. Those thieves, they're not getting paid just for their good looks. Guidelines for creating your own quests. A gazetteer of the Borderlands that reveals interesting places to explore. A bestiary that includes well over 100 foes of all levels and natures, from the dreaded demons of the void to mischievous fairies, hordes of undead, and the terrible dragon. Now, you might say, wait a minute, did you say the void? Is this game system connected with Shadow of the Demon Lord? Yes and no. So the Shadow of the Demon Lord universe, the game setting it is in, is its own thing. But it is one of many places in the multiverse. And I know, a lot of people are sick of multiverse crap, but you know what? Multiverses have been around in role-playing games since the 70s. So, it was here first. So get over it. Anyway, the multiverse of the Demon Lord is expansive. And so this is a different setting in that multiverse. Now, since it's a totally separate and different setting, things are going to be completely different. You're not going to hear talk about the Demon Lord. You may hear talk about an entity that is the Demon Lord, but is most likely called something else here. You're also going to hear talk that, some things that come from the Shadow of the Demon Lord universe. And one of those things is the Void. The Void is the thing that ties all the multiverses together. All of the worlds that are out there, all the universes that are out there floating in the Void. So the Void is one of the connecting tissues between the Shadow of the Weird Wizard and the Shadow of the Demon Lord. But I think that the things that are going to be shared between those two settings are going to be, very minimal. So if you're worried about the rated R factor of the Shadow of the Demon Lord spilling over into this game, only if you bring it in yourself. I seriously doubt that Schwalbe is going to be crossing the streams too much with these two settings. You get a in addition to 2 core rulebooks, you get a quest, which is One Bad Apple. It is going to be delivered in digital, and the quests are going to be the adventures for this system. Instead of calling them adventures, I guess he's going to be calling them quests. This is a 10-page quest, which reveals the threats to mortals contaminated by soul sickness, and offers a cure for this plague in ruins from the ancient past. Okay, so you get a quest. In this Kickstarter, you get a Sage screen, print and digital. High quality trifold screen made from heavy cardstock, featuring fabulous art from the game along with reference tables to make running the game even easier. And I've got my print Shadow of the Demon Lord screen, which I got from the Shadow of the Demon Lord Kickstarter, and you can no longer get physical screens. So if you want a physical Sage screen, I suggest you jump on this Kickstarter, because there's no guarantee that there will be a physical version of the Sage screen available in the future. All right, and then there are the add-ons. So there will be extra books, of course. There are Westphalia miniatures, so you can add these to your Kickstarter, which it looks like we've got an adventuring party here. You got a cleric, you got a dragon, you've got a big furry thing, ogre maybe, I don't know, bugbear, I don't know. Let's see, we've got some kind of clockwork warrior. We've got an elf. We've got a goblin. And so those miniatures. Not sure if I'm going to pick those up. I'm tempted though. Super tempted. Okay. What else are you getting? Well, here are the stretch goals. A ton of them have been unlocked already. There are 3 that are yet to be unlocked. And so this is a challenge to get to 400,000, which is another, 110,000 away, in order to get all of the stretch goals for this campaign. So what have we gotten unlocked so far? We have had $35,000 got us 10 quests. So we are getting 10 adventures. We are also getting People of the Weird Wizard, which will highlight, different peoples, I assume new ancestries. Glory of the High One. The High One is going to be the main divine influence in this campaign world, I believe. Maybe some version of something similar to what the new god offers, but I'm assuming it's going to be probably more sanitized and probably presented as more of a holy figure, as opposed to the new god that's presented in Shadow of the Demon Lord, which is more of a vengeful god type of figure. So we're talking this. I'm guessing here. I'm assuming that the High One is going to be more New Testament versus Shadow of the Demon Lord being more Old Testament from the main religion. Just totally a guess, though. All right. So the next quick starter, the next stretch goal that was attained, 10 more quests. So now we're getting 20 adventures. A fairy source book. So if you have Shadow of the Demon Lord and the Terrible Beauty supplement, that is the Fae, essentially the Fae realm source book for Shadow of the Demon Lord. And Robert Schwab likes to delve into actual real world mythologies. And so a lot of the stuff from in the Terrible Beauty book is, I think, influenced by real fairy tales. I would imagine more of that, although probably a little bit more Disney-fied, available in this source book, but it's still going to be good stuff. Rage of the Goblin King campaign. So we are going to get a full campaign, which Adventure Path, I believe, is the term that most people are familiar with, which provides a 0 to 10, levels 0 through 10, full campaign from start to finish. And I don't know if the Goblin King in this world is going to be the same as the Goblin King in Shadow of the Demon Lord, but the Goblin King in Shadow of the Demon Lord was basically the Goblin King from the movie Labyrinth. So David Bowie is the Goblin King in Shadow of the Demon Lord. It would be great if he was that here as well, but I have a feeling, again, streams are probably not going to cross that much, and I would be surprised if he didn't come up with a different take on the Goblin King for this world. Halls of the Mountain King, not exactly sure what that is. Mysteries of the Old Gods. Weird Menagerie, so we're getting some monsters there, I assume. Fury of the Ancient Ones, not sure what that is. Jungles of Za, I assume that's a setting. Cult and Secret Society, so yeah, you can't have any fantasy RPG that if it doesn't have cults and secret societies. A Fiend book, which you gotta love Robert Schwab's Fiends. Howl of the Void, not sure what that is. Doom of the Old Country, The Forbidden City, and Stretch Goals Upgrade. All right, so some of these looks like highlighted here. So some of the ones I didn't know about. Let's see if we can find them here. Okay, 10 more quests. A Fairy Source Book. Rage of the Goblin King. Okay, Halls of the Mountain King. A detailed look at a dwarf stronghold. The people who live there, major characters, and the influence on the borderlands. So, people that love dwarves, I dig dwarves. They're one of my favorite ancestries. Definitely going to be looking forward to that one. Mysteries of the Old Gods, 64-page supplement. You'll find information on the old gods and their place in the world. Content includes ceremonies, rites, relics, spells, and new servants. Weird Menagerie is new monsters. Fury of the Ancient Ones, a second full campaign. Oh, this is a second full campaign which features 10 connected quests that explore the awakening and release of a dreaded ancient one. So, yeah, that's cool. Not sure if the ancient ones are going to be like the old ones, so Cthulhu-fied maybe, but we will find out. Or it could be more like the Greek Titans. Who knows? All right, Jungle of Za is a 48-page supplement. You'll find everything you need to know about the fearsome jungles of Za, including new character options, magic, and monsters. Maybe Tarzan will be in there. Cults and Secret Societies, 48-page supplement. Fiend Book, 64-page supplement. All the Secrets of the Netherworld and the Fiends that Dwell There. Howl of the Void, a 64-page expansion detailing Abaddon and the Void, demons, and the deadliest threats to the mortal world. Not sure what Abaddon is. I don't know if that's the term for the demon lord in this world, or if it's going to be a kind of like a Lucifer type of figure, much like the wow, I can't think of his name. As much as Diabolus is in the Shadow of the Demon Lord. Okay, what else we got? Doom of the Old Country, 96-page setting expansion that reveals the lands of the Old Country, includes new paths, magic, and monsters. All right, we're going to get the Forbidden City, which is a 96-page expansion that reveals the secrets of the Forbidden City, home of the vanished Weird Wizard. Also, the supplement reveals new details about the lands around the Forbidden City and the strangest that dwells there. And then we just unlocked stretch goal upgrades. So before we reached the 290, we didn't have some of this stuff, and now we do. So we're now getting 10 more quests for a total of 30. We're getting the Weird Menagerie, extra pages. We add deluxe secrets of the Weird Wizard to Master and Weird Wizard pledge levels. And expert and higher backers will receive print-on-demand download codes for all stretch goals of 32 pages or longer. Oh, cool. All right, so what's left to unlock? We have at 320,000 Weird Treasures, a 96-page book detailing new oddities, artifacts, relics, magical places, and other rewards for all tiers of play. At 360,000, we'll be getting Free Companies of the Four Towers. This is going to be a 128-page book detailing the dungeons beneath the city of Four Towers. Form a company and delve into the depths for treasure, magic, and more. This is going to be based on other old interviews that I heard with Robert Schwab. This is going to be an homage to the city of Greyhawk and the Castle Greyhawk dungeons, which is like the original, it's like the OG of Mega Dungeons. So that's what I imagine this book is going to be providing, a city of Greyhawk type city and a expansive dungeon beneath. And then the last stretch goal that we have so far is Lost Lands of Earth, a 128-page book that expands on the world of the Weird Wizard, offering new ancestries, new paths, magic, monsters, and so much more. All right, so it looks like the world's going to be called Earth, which I think is funny because it's Earth with a U, U-R-T-H, and Shadow of the Demon Lord. So he likes to stick with that Earth concept, probably to help us keep, something that we're familiar with, to help us understand the game better. Anyway, I don't know why he does it. So talks a little bit about the process, shipping, physical rewards, he'll be collecting shipping after the campaign closes through Backer Kit or Pledge Manager. Games Quest Ltd. to handle worldwide fulfillment. Okay, so these are all the partners. He's got a blurb here. They're unable to ship to Russia, Ukraine, Afghanistan, Belarus, Iran, Iraq, Syria, South and Central America due to high rates of packages going missing. We will not resend games to the following country, Pakistan or Nigeria, if those packages vanish. So that's just a disclaimer there. Then the miniatures are talked about here. Then we talk about, then we got the human designers and human artists, risks and challenges. And that pretty much wraps up the yeah, all that stuff. Okay, so what are the pledge levels? Well, let's see. I have the expert tier, but here are the other tiers. So if you are not interested in the game but you want to support, then you can always do so as a Weird Curious. Minimum of $1. You can throw as much money at them as you want if you just want to support the campaign without committing to getting any of the books. Then you have the Apprentice Wizard. For $14, you only get the PDF of the player's book. So if you're only going to be a player, that's the only thing you need, and you don't care if you have the book or not, then $14 will get you the PDF. Then we've got Novice Wizard for $49. This backer level includes digital copies of both the Shadow of the Weird Wizard and Secrets of the Weird Wizard, a Novice Quest, a digital screen, and the digital rewards available from unlocking stretch goals. So $50 gives you a lot of stuff, but all of it in digital format. Then we have the Master Wizard. So for $249, you can be, well, I'm sorry, I skipped the expert because I'm an expert. So the expert wizard backer level gives, you get digital copies of both the Shadow of the Weird Wizard and Secrets of the Weird Wizard, digital copy of the Sage Screen, Novice Quest, and print copies of both the Shadow of the Weird Wizard and Secrets of the Weird Wizard. Finally, you will receive all digital rewards available from unlocking stretch goals. So that's where I'm at currently. Now, what would you get beyond that? So you have the Master Wizard tier, which is for $249. This backer level includes digital copies of both the Shadow of the Weird Wizard and Secrets of the Weird Wizard, digital copy of the Sage Screen, Novice Quest, and print copies of both Shadow of the Weird Wizard and Secrets of the Weird Wizard, the printed screen, and the deluxe limited edition of the Shadow of the Weird Wizard. Finally, you will receive all digital rewards available from unlocking stretch goals. So $250 gives you a lot of stuff. Then you got the Weird Retailer. So this was added later. We didn't have a retailer. I hope a lot of retailers out there pick this up, because I would love to see these books in a lot of local gaming shops. So you have the backer reward for retailers. You get 6 copies of Shadow of the Weird Wizard, 4 copies of Secret of the Weird Wizard, 4 GM screens, plus in thanks, you also get the PDF copies of the core books and the screen. Then you got the Weird Wizard $499 backer level. This backer level includes digital copies of both Shadow of the Weird Wizard and Secrets of the Weird Wizard, a digital copy of the Sage Screen, Novice Quest, and print copies of the Shadow of the Weird Wizard and Secrets of the Weird Wizard and screen. It also includes 4 additional copies of the Shadow of the Weird Wizard, a deluxe limited edition of the Shadow of the Weird Wizard, 3 Kickstarter exclusive quests, and then finally you will receive all digital rewards available from unlocking the stretch goals. So if you and your game group want to chip in, and get if you collect $499, then you get a you get 4 additional copies of the Shadow of the Weird Wizard. So you would get the original copy plus 4 additional copies. So that's 5 copies, 1 for the GM and 4 for 4 players. You also get the deluxe limited edition. So the GM gets a deluxe limited edition of the Shadow of the Weird Wizard. So that's actually 6 rule books. So 6 rule books for $500 with all the additional content. That's pretty good. If I could afford it, I would definitely jump on the $499 and gift the physical copies of the books to my buddies. But they're cheap bastards, so let them buy their own physical books if they want to. So, yeah, that's right. I said it. If you guys are watching, which you're probably not, so. Anyway, all right. So that is that's the Kickstarter. So I wanted to go through that just so that, if you don't have the time or energy to go through Kickstarters and you're a little curious about this one, I kind of wanted to go through this to give you an idea of what you can get for jumping on this Kickstarter. Now, like I said, you still have a little over 2 weeks to jump on this one, so you got plenty of time. So my next video is going to be going through the Shadow the Weird Wizard quick start, this thing, which again you get for free from the Kickstarter here. So I don't know if you have to pledge before you get it, or if you can get the quick play for free just coming to the Kickstarter. I'm not really sure about that, but it is free, so you can get an advanced copy of a preview essentially of the Shadow the Weird Wizard with an adventure that you can play through, and 4 or 5 pre-gen characters. So yeah, there you go. We'll go through that next time. So thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Help me get to 500 subscribers. That would be great. I get jack shit for 500 subscribers, so 500 is pretty much the same as $4.95 for me, but it gets me closer to the 1,000, and that's where you start getting some features unlocked in YouTube if you have 1,000 subscribers. So yeah, if you want to push me over the midpoint, feel free to do so. I certainly appreciate it. Again, this is not anything I get paid for. I do this on my own. Robert Schwab doesn't even know I exist, so this is just something I'm doing to help spotlight the shadow of games, because they are fantastic games. If you're like me and kind of sick of all the other games that are out there, this is a great alternative. So there you go. That's all I got. I'm out of here. Thanks for watching. How the hell do you turn this damn thing off?